My Canon S100 is broken. I ordered another one online. While I'm waiting for it to come, I decided to make a video explaining why I think the Canon S100 is probably the best pocket cheap $100 camera you can get. I'm using a Canon Vixia camcorder to film this video because I don't have my regular Canon S100. If you need to see the quality of the Canon S100, you can watch probably any of my videos from the last 4 or 5 years because I've made several hundred videos with the Canon S100.
Good morning everybody, it's Robb. Guys, today we're going to do two things in this video. We're going to talk about what I think is one of the best used low-cost pocket video cameras. Cameras that will fit in your pocket and it don't cost a lot of money. It's going to be the Canon S100, the 110 and 120, that series. I think that's the best small pocket used camera that you can get for $100 or less. The second thing we're going to do in the video is, since I've been making YouTube videos for about 13 years now, we're going to briefly go over some of the other very small cameras I've used over the years, and some of which are still applicable to making videos today. Alright guys, the Canon S100, both of these are not working. I've ordered a new one, a new used one off of YouTube for about $70, and I paid $14 for a 2-year guarantee by Square Trade that will repair the camera if I have any problem within 2 years, or give me my money back. So I think that's a pretty good deal considering I make over 100 videos a year with my cameras. These two cameras, let me tell you the story about the S100. It was recommended to me by Bill Myers on Bill Myers forum, and Consumer Reports, everybody said it was an amazing camera. Guess what? It still is an amazing camera. I used it for years, and after I got it, I purchased it refurbished from the Canon store for under $100. I liked it so much I bought another one as a backup. Eventually the screen broke on the back, so I switched to the new one. The new one, eventually the lens stopped working, and then I repaired the screen on this one, and then the lens stopped working on the old one. I can purchase a new lens on eBay for $49, and there's excellent videos and websites show you step-by-step procedure to replacing the lens, just like I replaced the screen. But I didn't want to go through that, so I purchased a new one. These guys will fit in your pocket, and I recommend if you put any camera in your pocket to use some sort of pouch, because the dust and lint in your pocket is eventually going to jam your screen. It also protects for pressure being put on the delicate parts of the camera. But the thing about these cameras is you always have them with you. They're excellent cameras. They take extraordinary photos and they take very good video, and they have surprisingly good sound. Since I've been trying to find a replacement for my camera since they broke, I've come to realize how excellent the sound is on the Canon S100 and all the other features it has. When my cameras broke like a month or so ago, I started looking into getting other cameras as a replacement. I didn't want to spend over $100. I wanted something small, fit in my pocket, that would take good video, have good audio, and take excellent photographs. The Canon PowerShot ELPH series was recommended to me. The ELPH 300, you could get these quite inexpensively. This cost me $49. I should say both of the ones that I bought cost me $49, and both of them have turned out to be bad investments. The first one I got used on eBay, the sound was muffled, and when I increased the sound there was a hissing noise. This one, the sound is fine except there's a constant clicking noise. I think the autofocus is broken, so it's always searching and it's making a noise, so it ruins the audio for my purpose. I can record audio with a digital recorder and then splice it in, but I didn't want to do that. So these are allegedly very good used cameras. They have a lot of functions, and they fit in your pocket. They fit all my needs just about, except both of the ones I've purchased on eBay used have not worked out for me. And this one, the seller has not made an effort to take it back, so I may end up having to eat the money on this one. But I've never had really a problem with, over the years, and I've been dealing with video cameras for 30 years, and except my very first one I ever bought, which was at Kmart in the early 80s for $700, I've never purchased another new camera, or at least one that cost very much money, and I've been having a blast. The Canon S100 and the 110 and the 120 series, I think, are the best thing going for a used camera that you want to take videos and put on YouTube. I can't think of really any negatives, except they do seem to have a malfunction that's common to them with the lens. I see a lot of them for sale on eBay, used parts only, and the lenses are working, but they can be replaced, whereas a lot of the other cameras can't. I also want to emphasize, when I purchased this for $14, I bought the square trade insurance or warranty. That way it'll replace my camera or pay for it if I have any problems within the next 2 years. I'd like to go over some of the other cameras I've used over the years on YouTube. I was a big fan of the Kodak series when they came out, because I'm focusing on pocket cameras. I like to always have something in my pocket. There are many really excellent cameras that are large, that are also fairly inexpensive, but you can't easily put them into your pocket. The Kodak Z1.8 took beautiful photographs, or beautiful video. I think the photographs are like 5 megapixel. The Kodak PlaySport was also a treat, because you could take it to the beach and not have to worry. I'm kind of thinking, I took these Canons to the beach several times, and maybe the moisture and the salt air might have gummed up the works on me. Also, when I was cooking, my cooking videos, sometimes I have it right over the stove where the steam was coming up onto the camera, so maybe I just gummed them up. Not so much from sand and dust, but just from exposure to salt spray or the cooking. But getting back to the Kodak, there's a guy I like, Grave Digger Max. He has a metal detecting site channel, and he used to use these cameras exclusively. He'd buy them used on eBay, and he took his camera out every day, put on his chest, and his metal detecting. He got wonderful video, because at the beach you have so much bright light, and videos love light. I put a little camera, or excuse me, a mirror. I'll learn to speak English one day. I put a little mirror on mine so I could always see if I was inside the frame when I was taking the video, if I was doing a selfie. A lot of people love that new cameras have a flip up, where this is a really inexpensive solution to that problem. But these are still excellent cameras. Sometimes people would complain because most of these cameras don't have any input for a microphone, and they always want to have an improved sound. If you don't mind splicing, or if it's a sound that you don't have to match up people speaking, you can just get an inexpensive Olympus recorder and put in your pocket, put a little piece of thin cloth over the top to keep out any wind, and you get surprisingly good audio with a very minimal amount of any wind, just in your front pocket. You got to jam some paper or cloth in there so it doesn't move around, but if it's in solid and it's just a little bit of covering, you can get extraordinary good sound, and inexpensively, with these. The other thing I liked about the Kodaks is it came with a remote control. On the early versions, you could turn off and start your camera. I've also tried some of the GoPro knockoffs. This was something I was going to use underwater, because there's a site here in Florida. I think there might be some wreckage in a river that nobody's dived, and I wanted to, before diving, just to go down with the camera and a light. But this, I've used it a few times. It was very inexpensive, but the film, the video was kind of jittery in any motion. It was kind of poor quality. even though it had like a million little functions that the other cameras don't have, it didn't do the main thing, which was take good video. The cell phone, I'm kind of one of those people that this is the phone I carry. Welcome to the 90s. I don't like paying a plan for something if I'm just going to be making a phone call. I put my WhatsApp on this camera, on this phone. If I need to get access to the internet, you know, you can stop at a Wendy's and just download the internet and get on it. You don't have to pay a monthly plan. In the meantime, you can use this as a camera, but this is an older Samsung. It lacks a lot of features. You get spoiled when you use something like this. The newer phones, sure, they have a lot of good stuff, but some of the older phones, you can't focus in closely and do a lot of things you can do with this camera. And I just found it better to have a dedicated camera. And so I have tried using a phone to take videos, and these are handy. You can put on a tripod, so on. And this little dollar thing, it's a little thing you can put on the back of your phone. It only costs $1. It comes in handy. But I've never been a big fan of the phone photography. Even though people do almost feature movies with them. They're pretty amazing. The Samsung was a little guy. There's a woman who has a arts and crafts channel, and she used these cameras exclusively to make her videos because it has an interesting feature where you can pause it and it doesn't make a new file, and so you can pause it for up to 5 minutes and do whatever you need to do, change stuff, and then continue on with the next shot. And when you're finished, it's only just one file, and so you can upload that single file to YouTube without having to do any video editing, because she was making a do-it-yourself arts and crafts, and she was just using this on a tripod, focusing downward on her artwork, and she was able to do one video every day, 5 or 6 days a week, with a minimal amount of effort. And I even made a manual device where I could like be away from the camera, far away, and a little old-fashioned bulb that has a little rod that comes out, and I had it to where it would turn a pause on and off, so I didn't have to be right next to the camera, which I thought was kind of cool. I have a video of it on my channel. And the other camera, like I said, was the ELPH. It just didn't pan out. The sound was... If you buy these from a seller that guarantees it has good sound and good audio and a good video, they're so inexpensive, it'd be worth trying. Like I said, for my money, best pocket camera, S100, 110, 120, Canon. Get them used from a good seller. Use Square Trade so they'll repair it or replace it, and put it in your pocket and don't look back. There's other cameras out there that have larger amount of pixels, but the sensors on them aren't always bigger, so you don't even get better quality pictures. You can blow them up larger, but for the quality you're using on YouTube and so on, you can't beat it. The sweet spot, like 12.1 megapixels, is pretty good with this size sensor on this camera. And there's so many features. Alright guys, hope this is something that helps you. And when my new Canon comes in, I'll be making more videos with it. And I'm going to be taking these apart and putting in a new lens and cleaning them with the compressed air. And hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, see what happens. And by the way, we're filming this on an old Vixia, a Canon Vixia camcorder, HF 400 or HR 400. Alright guys, take care. See you out there.